Hey everyone, I'm so sorry this episode got delayed so bad. And you might have noticed there was a previous version of this video too, so I basically wound up editing twice. I apologize for that inconvenience as well, but the thing is, I didn't quite like the finished product. It felt too serious. I wanted to keep it lighter, so I trimmed a lot of fat, and I also did that because a lot of people felt it was too long at 50 minutes and complained about it, so I tried to get it closer to 30. Didn't cut any of the actual review content, just the more serious stuff that's just not as important. Now you can get even more funny stuff by checking out that annotation on the screen, but I do have to say one of the serious things, which is that my time is really limited and valuable right now, and I really need you to consider supporting my Patreon if you're a regular viewer and you're liking what I'm doing. I know some of you support Dicks, I know some of you support Maddoxes, I know some of you support Mumkeys. Please consider throwing just a little bit my way too, so I can keep going with this. Because these take a lot of time, a lot of effort. I really may need to be bringing in something to make this extensive work worthwhile. That said, enjoy the show.
Presenting Dick.
Dick.
Yeah! Alright. Hey, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to previous episodes. I think a lot of you in this episode are going to be new.
Uh-oh.
And with me here is Mumkey Jones.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Alright, so Mumkey, I want to open up here with a little bit more dumping on Reddit. Because Reddit really has screwed Maddox over with its crappy system.
Sure.
Because of the downvotes, anything pro-Maddox basically got pushed into obscurity where nobody would see it whatsoever.
That's right.
Yeah, so basically the biggest problem became a dick circle jerk. It just became the dick
It still is
subreddit.
to this day.
Yeah, I bet it is. Does Maddox even have a subreddit anymore?
Yeah, it's Madcast Media, but it's much less popular than the Dick Show subreddit.
Yeah, there you go. When you have popularity determine what gets seen and what doesn't get seen, well, you have stuff like the mainstream media and generally crappy public opinions that too many people hold. Basically, the blue pill. The basic point about Reddit is the upvote system and the downvote system are terrible, and so is...
Another thing you're not considering, though, is that Reddit is literally 4chan, but with different features. Because upvoting and downvoting, yeah, that exists. But that's just one of the 5 different choices you have. You can choose to look at posts by new, so it'll be exactly like 4chan. You just see the newest posts first, and you can scroll up and down. You can sort them by controversial, so you can see all the ones that got downvoted. There's a bunch of different ways. So if you think that Reddit is just shit getting upvoted, then you're using it wrong.
How many people do you think actually use Reddit and use it correctly?
See, it doesn't matter. Correct is very subjective, so no matter how you're using it correctly for you. So if you want it to be more like 8chan, then you can do that for you.
Alright, I feel like I need to push this back in a direction that's more... People must be wondering, like I used to wonder, whatever happened to...
Predictability, the milkman, the paper boys, and the TV. Miss all familiar friends, waiting just around the bend.
You're fired.
Everywhere you look, everywhere there's a heart, a hand to hold on to.
Now I can't remember what I was about to talk about when you interrupted me.
I'm really good at doing that.
Okay, I think I remember.
So what the fuck do we do on this show?
What?
This show that we're doing right now, what do we do on this show usually?
Review podcasts.
We review podcasts. And which podcast do we review?
The Dick and Maddox podcast.
The Dicks and Maddox podcast. And boy, oh boy, did Dick have 2 podcasts this week.
Let's get to that review.
Okay.
Alright, let's start with Dick. Let's go in hot, both of Dick's things.
So Dick's bonus episode, which you only get if you subscribe to his Patreon, was the most interesting thing I've heard in a long time. He told the story of his time on the Dr. Phil show.
I liked hearing about the Dr. Phil show. It was very interesting, but here are my problems with the bonus episode.
Uh-oh.
So the opening to the bonus episode was kind of weird. It wasn't all that funny. Also, in both shows, for some reason, there was just this weird talk about like nudes and stuff, and I don't get why that happened, but okay, whatever. They talked about how sometime in our lifetimes we may see a presidential dong, and I'm like, where does that come from? It was still kind of funny, though. But what wasn't funny was frickin' Denzel. We talked last week about...
Oh, you don't like Denzel?
I liked him on Biggest. I realized now after our podcast last week that Denzel uses the worst kind of verbal crutch, which is swearing in every sentence.
I mean, I do the same thing, and you still talk to me.
You don't do the same thing. No. It's similar to how I might say like or occasionally, but I don't do it all the time like Joey did, right? You swear, but you don't swear all the time like Denzel does. Denzel used swear words as fillers so much that it was very irritating to me.
I'm okay with cuss words. It doesn't bother me.
It doesn't matter if you're okay with cuss words or not. It's the fact that the man can't talk.
He can talk. He's just saying cuss words. I think it's completely different from saying like or I mean, cussing every now and then is fine. No,
he didn't do it every now and then. He did it to stall for time when he couldn't think of exactly what he wanted to say.
At least it's funnier than something irritating like saying saying like. I'd rather be like, fuck you, man. Fuck, man. Oh, fuck that shit, fuck. Like, I'd rather listen to the second. That's way more entertaining for my ears.
Oh, brother, it's stupid. It's pathetic. The guy
How fucking straight edge does King Critic have to be?
King Critic's a pretty straight edge guy.
Motherfucker uses Moon Man as his icon, and then he fucking hates drinking, he hates cussing. Hasn't even been to a KKK rally in years. Fucking straight edge bitch. I'm supposed to be the edgy one here, not you.
Oh, the KKK is much more straight edge than it used to be too, anyway.
Yeah, they just won a bid down like in Georgia so that they could clean up a highway.
Oh yeah? That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's the big KKK news. They're trying to clean up the community.
I also was not a fan of the inclusion of the guest. What's his name?
The Skype guy?
The face, yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was cool that Dick's letting fans join the show, even if they're not entertaining. I think it's just a nice gesture.
Dick, I know you'll hear this eventually. Okay, you probably won't, but let me join the show sometime, you dick.
He'll probably let you. He's taking submissions. You'd know that if you were on Reddit.
I gave him a submission, Mumkey. I knew about it through other avenues because it's not just Reddit.
Avenue Q.
There's this little thing called Twitter that you don't use, but it's actually pretty damn useful.
Nah, Twitter's disgusting.
Not all Twitter is just people talking about what they had for lunch.
I disagree.
You're wrong. You're objectively wrong.
Nah, I'm subjectively right.
Whatever. If they want to have people on, they need to make sure that their audio is good. Like what we're doing right now. Record on your own machine, send it to Dick.
Yeah, that's
do it that way. Don't do the crappy Skype recording. That's so prone to problems. Bad idea.
Well, Dick's show isn't known so far for high audio quality. It's more you get Dick's personality and it's fun, and then the charm of it is that it's kind of unprofessional, like a grade A under A video kind of.
I guess so, but there's really not much excuse when it's so easy to get around that problem. And if they try that next time and the guy still sounds awful, well, that just means they need to pick someone less autistic for this.
Yeah.
Now, there was one more guest on the bonus episode. The two previous guests that I just talked about are on both. I think they must have recorded this all the same day.
Yeah, they did.
But the other guest was Dick's life coach. Now, that was cool. That was a cool guest. Unfortunately, he didn't get to shine so much. He should have been there instead of Denzel for the main episode, because Dick's life coach seems like a really interesting guy, but we didn't get to hear much from him because the bonus episode was almost entirely just dedicated to Dick telling us a lengthy and interesting narrative.
I was happy that the bonus episode was 95% Dick talking.
Yeah, the guests really kind of didn't do anything except for drag Dick down, unfortunately.
Yeah, they were just there.
Except maybe his life coach. His life coach was kind of funny in a couple moments.
Well, the life coach was part of the story for sections of it, just like Sean was, but Denzel really had no business being there.
Yeah, we didn't need Denzel and we didn't need Facebook guy. If it was just Sean and life coach, it would have been tight.
And they should have got Dr. Phil too.
Now that would have been amazing.
I want to hear his side of the story.
Yeah, that would be incredible. We need Dick and Maddox to go together onto Dr. Phil and talk it all out. That would be insane.
That'd be the best episode.
Yes, that would be the best Dr. Phil episode of all time.
With the intermission by Tim Chang's.
Yeah, definitely. There you go. All right, so there's my beef pretty much with the bonus episode. The bonus episode was overall okay, though, because the meat of it, which was the Dick story, were great. It's just all the interruptions and stuff from the guests were pretty garbage, so it kind of dragged down Dick's story a lot. If it was just a pure episode of Dick with a little bit of Sean and a little bit of Dick's life coach, that would have been amazing. Thoughts?
Yeah, sure.
Let's talk about the main Dick episode.
Okay.
Denzel frickin' ruined it.
Okay, continue.
Such a bad guest. Hated the verbal crutches.
Okay. See, here,
I can't say a sentence without a cuss word.
I thought that Denzel was the best guest so far, and I thought he was a rage, and I hope he becomes the permanent co-host.
Oh, wow. Okay. So we have
very different opinions. Yeah.
Completely the opposite opinion of one another on this matter. All right, Mumkey, let's hear why you like this guy. Oh, but before that, I also want to say he just wasn't funny. Like, he didn't say anything interesting or funny. He just cursed a lot and said a lot of otherwise obscene stuff, and it was just more annoying than anything. All right, go, Mumkey.
So I think that of all the guests so far, Denzel is the only one who is a genuine friend to Dick. Like, he's not just somebody who he works with or he invited from another podcast. I think Denzel and Dick are genuine friends in real life, and that's why they have such a good chemistry, because I thought they had the best chemistry so far, and they played well off of each other. And they clearly have a history with each other that they can build off of and put forth if they do more episodes together. And I like Denzel's perspective because he's an outsider. Kind of, we've had lots of white people so far, and I like hearing the black perspective on things because typically they have very different experiences from the majority population, and I'm always interested in that kind of stuff.
What an SJW cock.
Hey man, if you don't like Invisible Man or Native Son because of SJW stuff, then you're missing out on some of the greatest pieces of literature of all time.
Did I mention we discussed earlier Dick taking submissions, right? I never heard back about my audition submission, which is probably typical, I'm guessing, but I also submitted fan art that didn't get put up.
Maybe he just picked a different one for that week.
Does he only do one a week?
I don't know. I mean, he can't pick them all.
Yeah, he can. He can definitely pick them all. Just put it all up. If someone bothered to send you fan art, put it up.
I mean, I guess. Maybe he didn't like it.
I guess, but he could have at least told me that. Dick could have just, tweeted at me, hey, sorry, but your fan art wasn't good enough.
That seems kind of cruel. I wouldn't do that. I would do what Dick did. I'd just ignore it.
Well, then I could tell Dick GFY, and then I'd feel a little bit better about it than just being ignored completely.
Yeah. I don't know. I sent in voicemails to The Biggest Problem, and they never played them, but I didn't take that to heart because I figured, they can't play all the voicemails. They got other voicemails to choose from.
Yeah, Maddox said he probably didn't hear the one I sent in for episode 3, so all right. However, I hope the next voicemail I send in to either show gets played, because I've sent one to each. Well, no, my friend called Maddox, I called Dick. Neither one got played. Here's another thing about Dick's episode. It just sucked in general. I barely remember it. What did they even talk about?
That's a good question. I don't remember.
Yeah, see, neither of us remember it all that well because it was just...
No, I remember now. No, it was a good episode. They talked about cultural appropriation. That's a topic I'm actually pretty passionate about.
Why?
Because I think it's bullshit. It's what I agree with everything Dick said. It's one of the dumbest concepts, and I liked Denzel's point that all the big civil rights issues have been dealt with, and now people are just trying their best to find something to complain about.
Not all of them have been dealt with.
Well, all the major ones are kind of already in the discussion, so now the new people who want to be part of the big civil rights movement, they have to find new things to bitch about because all the big things are already taken by other people.
No, there's another big one that's really obvious. I mean, look at your Uncle Alex, man. That's seriously garbage.
Yeah, but I mean, black people don't care about that.
Wow. How depressing.
Yeah.
Denzel, though, stupid Denzel, he freaking agreed with the SJWs to an extent on cultural appropriation with that thing about the Indian headdress. Like, oh, you don't know the struggle. Like, what was that? That was SJW stuff.
And I'm fine with that. I mean, if Dick gets a co-host who's full SJW, I will love that, because I don't want somebody who just parrots back what Dick says. I want them to have a discussion and an argument. That's the whole point of this kind of show, is an argument. So the more they disagree with Dick and the more they don't personally agree with either your or my already pre-established philosophies about life, that's good, because then we get new perspectives and we don't just go into a fucking echo chamber circle jerk every week. We can actually hear some lively discussion with multiple viewpoints. That's why I don't know why people liked Mr. Velvet so much, because he just said the same shit Dick said.
Well, yeah, neither of us liked him, but apparently tons of other people did. Tell us why in the comments, you jackasses!
Evidently, it's just because he has a nice voice and he agreed with everybody's already established opinions.
Yeah, but he was boring.
Yeah, that's what I think is boring about it.
No, that wasn't the reason he was boring. He was just a boring guy. He didn't bring in good stuff to talk about.
Better than Shellfish.
True, better than Shellfish.
See, so far all the reasons why you hate Denzel are the reasons why I loved him.
I bet you liked the movie The Town, too, where everybody says the F word every other word.
Is it the Ben Affleck movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
No, it was terrible. What else did they talk about besides cultural appropriation? I mean, I kind of enjoyed that discussion to an extent, but it wasn't the most riveting thing I've ever heard.
It's an anti-SJW discussion, so I figured you'd be all over that.
It was alright, but it didn't, like, completely wow me. It wasn't like...
Wasn't like Shellfish.
It was better than Shellfish, and I laughed a couple of times. I remember Sean and Dick talking about how they made a funny joke about the more she's wearing on her head, the more eager she is to take off the rest of what she's wearing, or something like that. Mm-hmm. That was a really funny joke, but honestly, like, I don't remember too much of the episode. It was just like, oh, whatever. They're just BSing around, and Denzel sucks.
Okay, so, I mean, I don't really have anything else to say about the Dick episode.
Because there's not much to say about it. On to Madoff?
Sure.
Alright.
Consistency is difficult and so are math degrees. He makes love to his principles with randomosity. Everyone's seen Dick at work, fighting man to man. But self-defeat can be such a treat. No excuses for the rider who can take the heat. Do some research on yourself before you speak to me. It's Maddox versus Maddox.
Alright, so Maddox had a really great show last week. Last week, both Dick and Maddox had a great show. And both times, it was a hard act to follow. Hey, Mumkey, how did you think Dick compared to last week?
So, like, the most recent Dick compared to what we talked about last time?
Yes.
I really liked Denzel, so I probably liked this week better.
Note to self, send Mumkey a noose in his P.O. box.
I thought that the discussion of cultural appropriation was a lot more entertaining than talking about fucking wrestling. I don't give a shit about wrestling.
What about all the other BS in the episode that you don't even remember because it was so lame?
I mean, other than how boring wrestling and Shellfish are, I can't remember much about that episode either. At least I remember things that I liked from this episode.
Of course you can remember what was great in last week's Dick. Last week's Dick... Alright, so cultural appropriation was the highlight of this week's Dick. Last week's Dick, the highlight was Trump and Elmo, and there was one other...
Oh yeah, but that was a 3-minute segment. I'm not going to say that the entire episode was better for a 3-minute segment. That's why I voted for Madoff last week, was because the Dick episode was too inconsistent for me.
This Dick episode was really inconsistent too.
I mean, for you.
For you too, if you can't remember anything besides cultural appropriation.
I mean, I don't remember a lot of things. That doesn't mean it was bad.
Oh, that's right, your memory is garbage.
I enjoyed Maddox's this week a whole lot because he went back to the dark humor for like a third week in a row. And I love dark humor. A whole discussion about whether a girl was responsible for her boyfriend's suicide. And it was riveting from beginning to end.
Well, it was riveting. I will agree with that much. However, first let's start with the guests. We had Robin Higgins and who was the other guy again?
I don't remember his name, but I thought both of the guests were very good. He did a great Stewie impression is his thing.
Yeah, he was good. I think his name was Mikey. And I think I've seen his YouTube videos. I liked him. I didn't like Robin. Robin actually had the crutch.
Am I seeing a pattern of you disliking all of the black hosts?
It has nothing to do with race. It has to do with politics and with
racial
crutches.
Politics.
And with verbal crutches. Remember, I liked Denzel back on Biggest.
Okay.
And Mumkey, this is partially your fault for calling to attention the whole...
verbal crutch thing?
Yeah. This is partially your fault, so you have yourself to partially blame for this.
Sure.
But she said like a lot, too. She said like, not as much as Joey did, but a lot.
Well, to be fair, she didn't talk as much as Joey did, so it wasn't as consistent of a distraction.
That's true. But I think she did drag down the episode quite a bit.
Well, the episode was 80% Maddox talking and then like 5% Robin, so I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
And when Robin talked, it was usually some SJW crap.
See, that's how I knew you were going to go straight to that. It's racial politics with you all the time.
Well, this isn't about race, though. It's about politics. It's about... I hate liberals, all right? I hate liberals. Gosh. I hate them.
So what SJW points did she make this week that upset you?
I did like Robin's joke about turning that suicide couple into a sitcom. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was a funny bit. I liked when they went further with it and Stewie was directly in the sitcom.
Here is the thing I really hated about Robin in that episode, though.
Her skin color?
No. I don't care about Robin's race.
Okay, you just care about her opinions about her race.
So the point I was going for was, here's what I really hated. All right, this plays off of another problem I had with Maddox's show this week, which was that it's depressing. It was just more depressing than anything. It was not funny at all. It was interesting.
Oh, man, we're so opposite this week. I thought this episode was hilarious.
But it was depressing. How was it hilarious? Well, I mean, I mentioned the funny joke about the suicide couple.
Well, because I love dark humor and arguing about a girl who's a sociopath, a psychopath, convincing somebody to kill themselves, and just the way they talked about it, I thought it was really funny.
Actually, yeah, there were really funny moments based on that. Some of the super, super dark jokes, were pretty hilarious, if only for the shock value.
Yeah, shock value and dark humor is what gives me life. There's a reason why a Serbian film is one of my favorite movies.
Right, I mentioned the episode being really depressing, too depressing for me, although it did in times lead to good humor, but it was offset somewhat by the fact that it was just depressing to listen to. Like, I feel like I really would have been better off not listening to that because I didn't need to know all the details of that story.
Oh, man.
That was upsetting to a very large degree to me.
Okay. Did your girlfriend make you kill yourself?
Well, almost.
Oh, man. I'm sorry. Was it after your parents died in that alcohol car accident?
The voting on the website confirmed that Maddox did indeed argue better for leave than he did for stay, even though he's probably more in favor of stay, actually.
Right.
Maddox severely misused the word ironically at the start. He should have said, I believe, fittingly at that point.
I don't judge people on misusing words when they are talking off the cuff.
But Maddox does
if he wrote a
judge
script
people for that, so it's a little hypocritical there.
Whatever.
I mean, easy mistake, but he messed it up big time because it was actually pretty much the opposite of ironic.
To be fair, Dick is half Mexican, and he mispronounced the name of a Spanish beer, so...
That was funny.
Yeah, that was a really funny bit.
I liked the voicemail that was sent into Maddox about the same thing we called out last week with the whole Maddox hates the apps and yet he made an app. Although,
right.
In his defense, yeah, there's functionality in the app that helps people a lot. So it's kind of somewhat called for in this case, but maybe it's still a little hypocritical. The specific thing that bothered me the most in the Madoff podcast was that she, Robin, mentioned this singing river. I never, ever wanted to hear that.
Oh yeah, that was wonderfully depressing.
That was so horrifically depressing. It's one of the worst things I've ever heard. And the worst part is she was blaming the white people in that scenario. And that made me so angry because I don't approve of the white people trying to take the Indians' land, right? And I'm going to say Indian because I don't give a crap.
Uh-huh.
And because Native American takes too long to say, so screw you.
So you blame the Indians for being killed?
Dang it, Mumkey.
Just asking.
No, I'm saying I'm so sick of Indian apologists and white people shamers.
Uh-huh.
Because a lot of these Indians, or American Indians, but I'm not going to say that because it takes too long to say, they were savages. They were actually savages. Drowning your children. Really? That's not defensible. That's savage. That's unbelievable. I don't care how proud you are. You don't drown your children. You sick fucks. You know who else did that? Fucking Adolf Hitler.
You know who else did that? The wife from Shutter Island.
He didn't drown them either. He was humane. Hitler was more humane than these fucking Indians. I'm like Dick right now. I'm pissed.
Leo DiCaprio's wife in Shutter Island drowned her own children.
Didn't need to know that, Mumkeen, but I guess now I know not to watch that movie.
No, it's a great movie.
Anyway, that's savage. It's not humane like... Well, it's not humane to give your children cyanide like Hitler did either, but that's more humane than drowning them. Fuck those people. I don't approve of what the white people did, but I definitely much less approve of what the Native American people did there. That's fucked up. And a lot of Native Americans engaged in senseless warfare and violence, cannibalism, and other bullshit that's just not defensible. So fuck cultural relativism and fuck Robin and fuck SJWs. There we go.
Yeah, I agree. Any culture that is ever engaged in needless warfare should just be exterminated. Oh no, America just got destroyed.
I understand that's mostly all of them, but some people claim that American Indians were basically, you know, these peaceful, nature-loving people. No, a lot of them were just assholes who love to go around and kill people.
And drown their own kids.
There you go. So... I had a hard time enjoying Maddox's show just because of how depressed it made me. Although I definitely acknowledge that there was some quality dark humor mixed in there.
Okay. So, now do we decide which podcast is better this week?
Almost. There's a few more notes about Maddox's show that I'd like to talk about.
All right, hit me.
So they decided to start adding some links to the episodes with some current events talk, and I enjoyed that. Although the current events section, I don't know, something about it felt a little bit off to me. I, for some reason, didn't note down exactly what it was this time, but it was like, okay, wait. Yeah, sometime during the current events segment, there was SJW stuff. There was excessive racial sensitivity, and that was partially a thing throughout the thing, but like, there was no hate there, Mr. What was his name? Mikey. He said the word hate where it didn't belong. Said stuff was hateful that wasn't hateful. Just super, super racially sensitive SJW kind of annoying stuff. Oh yeah, and also Maddox said he was running out of time when the episode was barely an hour long. Maddox, stop doing that, please. So yeah, that was why that kind of bombed out the current events segment for me that time. But I look forward to next week. Hopefully next week's current events segment is a little more red-pilled. Maybe talk about that Black Lives Matter violence that killed a bunch of people.
Yeah, I'm hoping Madoff covers that in the next episode.
And I'm sure Dick will talk about it. So I think next two episodes are going to be real good episodes. So you know what, Maddox and Dick, I look forward to what you bring me next week. But I wasn't quite digging what you were bringing me this week. Also, man, Maddox's web player, have you had problems with it? Because I've had a lot of problems with it.
Like I said, I download the episodes from iTunes, so I don't really have to deal with that.
Oh, right. You're gay. Okay. Now let's talk about which was better.
Okay, I think I know where you're leaning. Well, actually, no, you hated both the shows, so maybe I don't know.
Uh-huh.
But it seemed like you hated Denzel so much that the Dick show was... it was too bad for you. I think you're going to pick Madoff.
Well, Mumkey, before I say what I'm going to do, I want to hear from you first.
Okay.
What you got for me?
Well, like I said before, I really enjoyed Dick's... Denzel. I really enjoyed Denzel. I thought he's the best host so far. I enjoyed the conversation about cultural appropriation. However, as a fan of dark humor, I thought that the suicide debate on Madoff's show was much better. I also really enjoyed both of the co-hosts, even though, again, you didn't. So overall, for the entire show, I'm going to have to go to Madoff again this week.
Okay. So, here's what I came into the episode prepared to do. I was going to say that I'm going to do the exact opposite of last week, and instead of a tie where I give them both a point, give them a tie where I give neither one of them a point.
Oh, okay.
However, I think I might be changing my mind.
Oh, okay.
Because I have to acknowledge that, in fact, I probably liked Maddox's episode more than I liked Dick's. Maybe I give a point to Maddox as such.
I think you should.
And also, Maddox did kind of do a good move and reach out to me and help me better understand the situation with Dick and Maddox. So I could be like kind of cheap here and give Maddox the point based on that. Then again, I could also be cheap and give Dick the point based on telling me the Dr. Phil story on his bonus episode. But you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to actually give that point to Maddox. Since I feel it was a good debate on Maddox's show, putting aside my personal biases against depressing stuff, the debate was definitely pretty solid. Maddox versus Maddox on both sides gave good points. I think going into the episode, I was slightly leaning towards the side of you can't coerce someone into suicide. It's ultimately up to them. But after hearing Maddox's argument, I think he put me on the side of, you know what? This was such an extreme situation that I feel that prosecuting her is the right thing to do. Yeah. By the way, do they have pictures of that girl out?
Oh, I imagine so. I haven't looked, though.
Wonder if she's hot.
She's like 17, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she could very well be hot. But she's evil, so...
So she's even more hot.
Okay. Mumkey, I think we just found you your girlfriend, bro.
I was thinking about doing an anime review about her as a person and about how she's the ultimate waifu because she wants you to kill yourself.
Yeah, actually, she's perfect for you. She'll get you to finally do it.
I might still do that, but by the time I get around to it, the story might not be relevant anymore.
Oh, the story is going to be relevant. It's timeless. It's so screwed up that it's a timeless story.
But she doesn't have the name recognition that Elliot Rodger did, so I don't think many people would know to click on the video. But maybe I'll just call it like the ultimate waifu, and then I'll explain the whole story.
There you go. That'll get mad views.
Yeah, it could be pretty funny.
Yeah, I think you should do it.
Unless you want to do it and you want to beat me to the punch and do it first.
So, well, I actually have a lot of real anime I need to review.
Okay, well, see, I have a lot of not real anime I need to review, so maybe it's better for me.
Yeah, it's probably more up your alley right now, but... So everyone hit subscribe, smash that like button if you enjoyed this, and if you listened to it all the way.
Is this where we sign off?
I guess I already said who I'm giving the point to.
That's right. So what, are we tied up again?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I have to tally it up. That's the last thing we got to do here. So we've decided I'm going to give it to Maddox, even though I hated both shows this week and kind of wanted to give neither of them a point. But since Maddox offered me a good debate and also offered me good clarification on the Dick and Maddox situation, I'm going to fudge it and give Maddox a point. So the running total is now... Yes, it is now completely tied up. Dick 3, Maddox 3.
All right. Let's see if this pattern continues forever.
Yeah, maybe it will. Now, if it were up to Mumkey, Dick would have 2 and Maddox would have 4, and Maddox would actually be ahead. But
that sounds right.
I'm the scorekeeper, and therefore they are tied at 3-3.
All right.
Thanks for watching/listening, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody.
And I hope you tune in next time and watch my Star vs. the Forces of Evil video and watch some of my other videos too. Check Mumkey out too.
And give this video a big dislike. We love them.
No, we don't. We prefer likes. Likes are better. Please feel free to like. Or if you really hated it and you actually listened to the whole thing, you know what? You're entitled. You've earned a dislike.
Make 10 accounts and dislike it with all of them.
Don't you dare! Damn it, Mumkey! No, only dislike one time if you dislike the video.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.